love the cemetery, especially at midnight, when it's colder, when the other children are long asleep, and the dead awaken.
How's it going, guys? It's the Pixelated Pumpkin, and welcome back to another Spirit Halloween sneak peek for the Halloween 2020 season. Today we got one called Angeline. Let's just call her Angeline. Overall, I'm really not a fan of this one, but anyways, we're not going to break it down to pros and cons, just because I feel like for this one it'd be a little bit difficult, but I'm just going to talk about her. So, overall, I'm just really not too impressed with this one. At Party City last year, we got a much better, very, very similar to this one, called Lonely Laura. Very, very similar prop. And I think Lonely Laura is actually the better out of the two. I think Angeline, is way worse than Lonely Laura, just because Lonely Laura was actually pretty creepy, and this one is really not creepy at all. I think the face is very odd looking and very weird on it. I think the eyes are too spread out, and the cheeks are way too big on it. And just overall, the face is really weird. And also, the mouth movement is very robotic and does not look good at all. I think it would have been better if she had, like, some sort of grin or frown on her face and no mouth animation, because it just looks very robotic and weird. Her leg animation is fun, and I think the way she's sitting on the tombstone is pretty cool, too, as well, like, doing something different than Lonely Laura. She also has head animation, Angeline, and I mean, it wasn't really needed on it. I feel like that just boosted up her price, which is another huge con about it, even though we're not bringing this down to pros and cons, but just something really bad about it is her price. She's very overpriced, being $170, I'm pretty sure, which is nowhere near worth what she should be. She should have been either $100 to $120. I feel like Spirit's prices, just every year they get more expensive, and I really just and try to find the cheapest ones I like to buy, so I'm definitely getting at least two. One at the off sale and one during the season. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. So getting back to Angeline, I don't really think the head movement was needed. As I said, it just boosted her price up, but I mean, at least it's there. Back to her overall look, I think the teddy bear she is holding is okay, but again, the biggest problem I have with some of these little girl props, very similar to Mommy's Favorite, there's really nothing creepy about them. Sure, she's sitting on a tombstone, which is probably the only creepy thing about her. Not even her herself is creepy. That's the biggest problem I have. There's nothing special about her. There's nothing that you say, oh, that's a really creepy girl, other than that she's sitting on a tombstone. So I mean, there really needs to be something more. If she was like a ghost girl, even though that's not a part of her story, I think that would have been creepier. Just overall, there's really not much scary about her, which I'm just really not too big of a fan of. I don't know. It's just very basic, very bland and boring, and just overall really not that great. She has the same kicking animation as Lonely Laura. I just feel like this is basically a ripoff of Lonely Laura from Party City last year. And overall, I do think Lonely Laura is better than Angeline by far. But anyways, I think that's going to be it for her. Overall, I'm really not a big fan. I guess something I do like, I don't know if I mentioned this or not, is her audio. I think her audio is actually pretty good, and is probably really the only good thing I like about it. The tombstone writing is nice, and I do like the design of the tombstone as well. Realistic looking, or realistic enough to work, but I don't know. Just overall, not a big fan of this prop. Nowhere near as bad as Johnny Punk, but I would say it's close to the bottom of my list, Angeline. But, alright, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. And as always, this is Pixelated Pumpkin, signing out.